President Trump did post on Truth Social that there's going to be a 90-day extension in talks, and during that time period, Mexico will continue to pay that 25% tariff that has been imposed on them. Keep in mind that if they didn't get this extension or didn't reach a deal, they were going to be slapped with a 30% tariff, so that does keep the tariffs at a lower rate. The president also said that those sector-specific tariffs, including on autos and steel and aluminum, those are going to remain in the same place. That's 25% for autos, 50% on steel and aluminum. Important context here is that the negotiations with Mexico have always been on sort of a separate track. Mexico was tariffed months before so-called Liberation Day, and the White House did invoke the same sort of legal basis when it came to tariffing Mexico as they did for all these other trading partners. It's the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, AIPA, except for that this is really on the basis of the White House's concerns surrounding the border and fentanyl flows into the country. And that's something else that President Trump ultimately said in his Truth Social post that they were going to keep working on together as they try to reach this trade deal. Just quickly, I'll leave you with this idea that USMCA compliant goods are still exempt from these tariffs. And that's a really important part of this conversation. About 83% of the goods that come into the United States from Mexico are USMCA compliant. But because we do so much trade with them, that still leaves about $80 billion worth of goods, at least according to the data last year, that would be subject to a higher tariff.
Tyler, so Trump has made it abundantly clear that he has no intentions to extend this tariff deadline that's coming tomorrow. Can you just quickly remind us what countries are still in limbo here as we approach tomorrow's deadline?
Right, exactly. There are quite a few, enough to at least make a list. Australia, Canada, also when we're talking about our North American trading partners, doesn't seem to be having a deal imminently. In fact, we heard from the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney the other day, who sort of seemed to lower expectations that they were going to be able to get the negotiations done in time. I would point you to two countries that we are actually expecting to get a deal, but we haven't heard official confirmation yet, and that's Thailand and Cambodia. The U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick last night said that they had reached a deal. This is going to be an important one because those nations are facing relatively much higher tariff threats compared to the other nations in the region that have been able to strike a deal. They would be faced with a 36% tariff if they are unable to get it lower. But that's something that we're closely tracking and does appear to be coming imminently.